The best wedding gift I got, we got, not I got, we, because we're a unit, is our bidet. And I'm going to go on a soapbox for a moment. A bidet is, in fact, necessary to your household. This was on our registry. This wasn't a random gift. This was my most prioritized item on the registry. That's how important it was to me. And you know who got it for me? My maid of honor.
I'm your host, Sarah Baus, and welcome to Attainable Podcast.
I'm a wife. That is, I promise you, that is not like, it is still weird to say. I don't know which is weirder to say, like, I'm a wife, or to, like, when I'm referring to Joseph, call him my husband. I feel like the husband thing sounds really weird to me. It's not lost on me. But yeah, today, first of all, welcome to the Attainable Podcast. If you're new, interesting episode for you to join us for. I just got married actually a month ago, and so I'm giving you the details of the whole day. If you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, you would have I tried to document as much as I could. I had somebody with me on the day who we were making TikToks and recording and doing videos, and it was literally so fun. But I have a couple questions that have been submitted in. I am going to give you the lowdown on everything. If you are a bride, if you are planning a wedding, just wanting to hear the ins and outs of planning a wedding or how the wedding went, or if you're like me and you're just nosy, I'm going to get through all of the details. So anyways, yes, welcome. Let's get into the episode. First of all, so the wedding happened on September 24th, 2022. It was a Saturday. It was beautiful. Funny enough. So we did get married like right at like near hurricane season. I think right at like the end of hurricane season or something. But I wasn't concerned. I'm one of those people that I'm just convinced that everything's going to work out my way. And honestly, I think that's something everybody should adopt. But that is something that I have a complex or something. So I was like, everything's gonna work out, and it did. It was literally probably one of the most beautiful days of the year. I'm not exaggerating. But we also toured the venue on the same exact day last year, and it was gorgeous. So I had a pretty good idea. I was thinking, something about an almanac. I feel like that makes sense, that it would be pretty anyway. But as soon as we left for the honeymoon, we got hit by a hurricane. So we lucked out. Literally, if had gotten married 1 week later, we would have been in a hurricane. All good though. We went to Thailand, which was hit by a typhoon. No, wait, typhoon? So yes, Thailand got hit by a typhoon. So no worries, brought the rain with us. But anyways, it was a gorgeous day. Literally, it was perfect. And one thing that people keep asking or saying is like, oh, you must be so glad it's over. I don't know. I mean, I get why people are like glad a wedding is over, because I understand that wedding planning is can be stressful. But that was one thing that was determined during wedding planning, was like, I'm not going to make this so stressful that I like am ready for this day to be over. I was even getting sad weeks going up to the day, knowing that like it was, you got to think this is a year of my life that has been not dedicated, we have lives outside of that, but we have been spending a year planning this event, and then it's over in 5 hours. And I just knew, like, I knew it was going to be a great day. And so I was literally mourning before it happened, which is a really dumb thing to do. That's a very, like, Enneagram 7 thing to do, is be sad before a party is started for when the party's going to end. Yeah, I'll talk to my therapist about that one. Anyways, it was fabulous. It was great. So we got married at the Admiral's house, which is on the old naval base in Charleston. And it's so funny. So I built the wedding website before my TikTok blew up, right? Where I didn't really have an audience, or I had a much smaller audience than I do now. And so on the website before then, like, it had the location and the date and like everything, the time, like literally everything. And I had to take that down. I took it down in March, knowing that because like my TikTok was growing so much that if somebody were to, like, if you Googled my name, you could bring up the wedding website and it would tell you exactly when and where the wedding would be, which, not that I don't want everybody to be there. I don't want everybody to be there. You know what I mean? I was like, we don't need to surprise guests. However, I did want to share the day as best as I could with my audience. And so I had Jillian, who is a neighbor of mine from my childhood. I've known her since I was probably about 5. So she was my TikTok girl for the day. And one of my favorite things that I did was a quote first look with you guys. I loved it. Like, it felt very special. I was so excited to post that. I did it right before I walked out, and then I had Jillian post it literally right after the ceremony. It was within 30 minutes, because I did block Joseph from all my socials that day just because I knew, and I didn't want him to see anything, but like my guests weren't blocked and I didn't want them to be able to see me before we walked down, whatever. So, but that was something that I was so happy that I did. The day was great. So the girls actually we stayed at the Admiral's house the night before the wedding, and the Admiral's house is beautiful. These gorgeous, like, historically decorated bedrooms. It's a beautiful property. It was built in 1905, and then it was actually, the base was shut down in like 1993 or something like that. I can't remember the exact date. And the whole, like, this whole area pretty much got destroyed. It was left abandoned, and so a lot of vandalism and a lot of people just like came in and ruined these homes, or people were sleeping in them, and a lot of spray paint and like all this kind of stuff. So like a decade ago, the city of maybe over a decade ago, the city of North Charleston started a project to refurbish all of these homes and get them back up. And I mean, they're gorgeous. So there's the Admiral's house, there's an inn, and there's some quarters for I guess you call them sailors or like Navy people. I'm not sure. Anyway, one's a restaurant. There's another event space. It's a really, really, if you're looking to get married in Charleston, it's a beautiful, beautiful property. It's on the water. I like that it has an attachment to the Navy because we're a Navy family. And actually, my grandfather remembers playing. He was in the Navy band. He remembers playing parties in that house before everything was shut down. So that was like super special to me. Anyway, we stayed the night before, and then me and the girls, we all got ready there. The guys, we had them stay at what we call Baus Inn, which is my house. And a lot of times, like when quote our squad comes down, we just all bunk in here. People like, we are friends with air mattresses because there's a lot of us. And basically this house, that whole weekend, I put 2 of our best friends in charge. I was like, you are the innkeepers. Anybody who wants to stay here can, but they got to know, like, they're finding a corner. I have no idea who slept where. I have no idea what happened. I know that there was air mattresses, and honestly, I really don't care. The guys stayed here, and then we had an after party after the rehearsal, and then we dinner, and then we also had an after party after the wedding. And so yeah, it was just kind of, this house was whoever can stay can stay. And then the guys came over to the venue on that day, I don't know, like around 1 or something, to actually get dressed. We got pictures and everything. We had a professional photographer, and then she had a like second photographer with her. We had a videographer, and it's actually my friend Tyler and his wife Sydney. I guess all of us friends anyway, but husband and wife duo. And so we had them. And then we also had Jillian, who was handling like social media. I had plenty of documentation for this day. And yeah, it was amazing. Some really fun details. My dad actually, I don't have the pictures to put out yet, and I want them so bad. I talked to my photographer, and she said it would be like 6 to 8 weeks after the wedding. And I'm like, holy crap, literally, how am I supposed to wait that long? But I also understand it's a lot of pictures. I have no idea when the video is coming out. If I did not have like all the footage and everything and the photos from Jillian recording on my phone, I think I would literally die. But my dad, he was in charge of the like arch thing, or we got married like in front of this thing. And when I was planning, I was like, Dad, you're going to be in charge of the arch. And oh my God, it's great, guys. My new husband, do you want to be on the video or no? My new husband has his Halloween costume on. Please, somebody. Oh my god. This is the best. This is why we have video podcasts. Yeah. Oh, turn it around. Turn it around. This is gonna be such a good year.
Great.
That is a gorgeous costume, babe. You look stunning. I could not be more proud. Oh, the back. I can't. You're a little tiny. You're so cute. Oh, it has no pockets. Where is your pump right now? Oh, you don't. Okay, we're gonna have to figure out how to. Yeah, maybe I can. Yeah, we'll have to put your pump somewhere. But oh my god, guys, I'm so glad you guys got to witness that. Anyways, dad. So I put him when I was planning. I would put him in charge of the arch, and he's like, what do you want? I'm like, literally creative freedom. That was the biggest thing. I've said this before. Best thing for wedding planning is delegation. Now, you got to have a good circle of people that you trust who can catch a vibe. However, if you have really good people, delegating is the name of the game. Like, identify what is important to you, and then literally everything else, see how much you can just scoot off your plate. And the arch was something I was like, honestly, I looked a bunch on Pinterest. I don't really have a vision, and my dad's an architect, and he could pretty much build everything or anything. So I was like, Dad, you got it. And he said, okay. Like, he was like, you like really for real? And I was like, yeah, you go for it. And I heard like some of his like ideas of the past like weeks and stuff. And I heard him say something about pyrotechnics. I was like, you go, girly, you do you, whatever you want. And yes, so the arch ended up, he built a triangle. It was a wooden triangle, it stained the wood, it was gorgeous. And then it had 2 torches like on the side. So we did get married like in front of like fire, which I think is hella cool. Like, I loved it. That was really cool. And then I actually danced to Sweet Child of Mine, like the original version, not an acoustic, the original version, with him, which I loved. And then I walked down the aisle. Did I tell you guys this? I feel like I might have. I walked down the aisle to Come to Me by the Goo Goo Dolls. Listen, I want you to listen to this song. And I want you to, imagine people walking down the aisle, whatever. It was my bridal party and I walked. I didn't know that usually those were like separate songs, whatever. The song started, bridal party started going out, and then I hit the top of the aisle at the bridge. And if you have not heard this song, let me just give you these lines, okay? The lines are, so music's going, nice guitar lead up, and then like everything goes quiet, and the lead singer goes, "Today's the day I make you mine, so get me to the church on time. Take my hand in this empty room. You're my girl and I'm your groom." And on cue, we all start bawling. So anyway, that I like had that image in my mind of how that would go down. It went down perfectly. I got right to the top of the aisle at that like piece of the song. And then I like stood there for a second during those lines, and I walked. And I can't wait to see the video. I'm going to bawl my eyes out. Did I cry? No. I actually did not cry. Did I cry? I don't know. I didn't cry. I didn't think I cried that whole day. That's not true. I definitely like teared up with my dad and my grandpa and my mom. Anyway, but I did not cry like walking down the aisle or any of that. Now, I did, people have told me, apparently shake like a drug addict. Like, but I wasn't nervous. That was one thing. Like, people were like, "Are you nervous?" There was no piece of me that was nervous. I wasn't scared. Like, I wasn't like, oh my God. Like, none of that. I was so excited. And I don't know, you could probably relate to this. Like, there's times for me, it's like right before a performance. Like if you were ever in dance or like you had a big game or something, like any of that, like your adrenaline starts going. My adrenaline, which PS, I love adrenaline. So I really love that feeling. However, it did make my hand shake like a motherfucker. Anyway, my adrenaline was going so hard, and it was like pumping all the way and at the aisle. And then when I was doing my vows, like I guess my hands were shaking like insanely. That's okay. Our vows, we did write our own vows. Oh, they're so cute. I love them. If you have any ideas on like things to do with your vows, I really want to, I think, turn it into artwork for our bedroom or something. I'm not really sure, but that was amazing. And then after the ceremony, we left to there's a piece of Welcome to the Black Parade by Panic at the Disco, I think. I always like get them mixed up with a different band. Anyway, there's a piece of that song like that is like a heavy like guitar. Oh, if you listen to the song, there's like the beginning where it's kind of slow, and then as soon as it picks up, we like left to the piece of the song that that's a terrible way to describe it. Anyway, we were left to a really upbeat part of that song, took pictures, everybody was like doing things during the cocktail hour. We did bring in, I've posted some of these, or I've shared some of these photos from my photographer. We brought our 1977 Fiat Spider to the venue because we knew we wanted to take pictures with it. And our wedding coordinator tied cans to the back. So we left in the Spider as well. We went through like the sparklers and everything. It was so great. And the reception, like once the dance floor started, I did not leave the dance floor. I'm not kidding, the entire time. From the start of dancing to night close, I did not stop. It was incredible. I don't want to know how many calories I burned. Like it was oh my gosh, if I was in a cardio like class that pushed me that hard, I would have left. However, it was my wedding, and our DJ, PS, I'll give a shout out to all the vendors through this, but if you're in Charleston and if you're doing any event, DJ Bun Company, DJ and then BUNN Company, if you look at their Google reviews, testament to them. We had Juan and he was amazing, and I cannot tell you like how amazing they are, and Juan was, and that was one of my top tier things, was like I have to have a top tier DJ that I can trust and I know will hit the vibe. I don't just want music playing. I don't just want, on cue. Like I need a DJ that understands how to hit a vibe, and we are going to become a club. And he totally got it. So yeah, there's a brief overview of the day. When we have all the pictures, we're going to release them. I'm going to do the video and everything. I probably will post it on YouTube, which is crazy because I do in fact have a YouTube channel that is quite old. We've got some of our podcasts up on there, and we are working on uploading all of our podcasts on there and catching up. So it will be a regular piece of our schedule. But yeah, YouTube's like a whole nother beast in itself, but I might be uploading that to my YouTube when we actually get it. So let's dive into the questions. There's some really, really good questions here, and I think that it'll kind of cover anything that I'm missing. But if you guys have any more questions as well, like detail-wise, please go to the Instagram, either my Instagram or Attainable Podcast, comment on some of our stuff. You can DM us, whatever, and I'd be happy to answer, because I feel like with weddings, there's a lot that you can cover. And I want to be as helpful as possible if you are planning a wedding or if you're just nosy, my favorite people. First thing, best decision you made for your wedding. Okay, honestly, this is going to be niche to me. Best decision for me was having Jillian there. Now, of course, I'm a TikToker, so it makes sense for me to be like posting TikToks. However, the fact that she was there to record videos of like behind the scenes and take photos, and she was with me the whole time, that was amazing, because I was able to immediately, like, I got my phone back. One, it was great that she was in charge of my phone and I didn't have to do anything. And like, on the honeymoon, I could go through those pictures. I could relive those memories. That was awesome. Honestly, having a photographer and a videographer, I don't consider that, like, of course, weddings can get expensive, so within budget, but those were things that were my non-negotiables. And for a wedding, I see that as a non-negotiable. I didn't need a cake. I had a cake. We just did like a simple cake. It wasn't even our main dessert. We had churros for dessert. But like I would have taken any of those over cake. Like there's just some things that I considered non-negotiable. Those were non-negotiables. I wanted to make sure that this day was captured to the best of our ability. That was the best decision I made, as well as changing my dress, which, if you don't know the dress thing, then I've posted TikToks about it. I did change my dress 2 weeks before the wedding. I had a $2,500 dress that is gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, this dress is gorgeous. I love this dress. Yes, I still need to sell it. I haven't even posted it anywhere. I really need to get on that. But I accidentally found a dress at a consignment shop. It was $300. I bought it on the spot. Like, didn't even think about it. That was also a fantastic decision. And I knew that I could just sell the other one. Anyway, best decisions, I would still say like content. However, like I don't have any wedding regrets. Literally no regrets of the day at all. At all. Part of me does kind of wish we had disposable cameras around, because again, and you're like, seriously, another way of documentation? Literally, yes. Like, I love film. I love the aesthetic of film. I like the rawness of it. I like that like we could have passed it around. However, also it's kind of like something that if you are doing like cameras like that, have designated friends that are coming or people of the bridal party that are like in charge of cameras. Be like, hey, one of your main jobs is to like take a camera and make sure pictures are taken, because people are as swept up in the event, not as you are, but like they are, like they're dancing and everything. And so you don't want those to go to waste. So if you do that, just make sure you have some like key players like in you know, your wedding party or in the guests attending. Be like, hey, can you make sure that you get a few pictures with these cameras, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, that's the one thing that I'm like, oh, like if I were to do it again, I would probably literally add more cameras, as if we needed more. Was wedding planning stressful? No. And here's the reason: delegation. Number 2, you have to so many times like step back and realize like what's important and what's not. And I talk a lot about like brain space, and I'm not great at protecting my brain space. Therefore, that's why I'm so passionate about it. I'm getting so much better, but especially with work, I'm not really good. Like I do not do well with like keeping brain space as far as like my job, but I'm getting better at other things, and having brain space is so important. And that's usually what brings people over the edge. It's not necessarily the decision themselves. It's just they're holding so much. So the more I could delegate, the like I did it. Even if you don't feel like you're like, oh, there's not a ton on my plate, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Delegate it anyway. There's going to be more coming on your plate. And chances are like 99.999% of the time, you underestimate how much you are holding in your noggin. So yeah, and that was the biggest thing. Now, somebody did ask, they were like, if you weren't stressed, who was? Because somebody usually does hold that stress. One, the wedding coordinator, she was in charge of a lot. My mom was stressed, like a month away from the wedding. We were both cool cucumbers, and then she got a little bit more stressed, but she's a pretty like chillaxed person. So even her, I don't think it was like, I don't think it was that bad. Nobody was like Zilla, Bridezilla, Momzilla of any kind, which is good. What was the most expensive item / vendor you spent on your wedding? I'm guessing that this is outside the venue, because you can imagine like venues are expensive. And to be honest, for Charleston, this venue was not that expensive. The Admiral's house and anything on that property for an event, it's $3,500. And then to stay overnight, it was $5,000. So an extra $1,500 like for each night you wanted to stay. So we ended up paying $5,000 to have the house the night before, and of course for the wedding day. And we had it till 10 on the wedding day. I know a lot of people who actually stay at the house the night. I don't know a lot of people, but I hear that a lot of the couples who go to this venue like stay the night of the wedding, so they don't have to leave. I think that sounds fine too. But so it ended up being $5,000, but $3,500 just to have the event there. Now, is that expensive? Yes, of course. But places here usually start at $5,000 just for the event itself for like 5 hours. So we got a really good deal. Besides that, I'm trying to think of the most expensive item. Oh, easily the food and like rentals. We did our food and our rentals through Forage Events. He's owned by a guy named Sean Nielsen. And let me tell you, like, again, Charleston people, low country people, Forage Events is unmatched. And what makes them unmatched is their team. Sean, and then his wife as well, she like kind of helps with the operations. They made that day 100%. The reason that I could have so little stress during the planning was because I had Sean and his team on my side. He was such a like major player in all of this. Could not have done it without him. He is also a private chef. We are going to have him as a private chef come, because, and honestly, like if you're going out to dinner, by the way, it's about the same price to get a private chef if you're going to a nice dinner. When we do Squadmas, I think we're doing Squadmas in Charleston, and we're thinking of hiring a private chef for us because it would be about the same price, like for one of the nights. It's just super fun, and Sean's like so cool. His team is amazing. Like the food was unreal. And they also handled our rentals, so they can do like a bunch of, like, literally Sean can basically do the whole wedding for you, but we use them for our food and our rentals, all the chairs, all the tables, the tent, like everything. Doing everything with him was amazing. He's trustworthy. He is on your side, and like they go above and beyond. So I cannot stress enough how amazing Sean and his team at Forge events are. Probably the most pricey, but because it's like probably the biggest part of the wedding is food and having, you know, chairs for asses to sit in. The best wedding gift we got, because we're a unit. Oh my gosh, people were so generous, so generous, and it was great. We had a lot of donations into our honeymoon fund, which for Thailand made a huge difference. Basically, it did. I mean, it paid for the trip while we were there. It was awesome. As far as like, you know, like the actual gifts, all gifts were awesome. All gifts were amazing. I'd say a gift that stands out is our bidet. And I'm going to go on a soapbox for a moment. A bidet is in fact necessary to your household. And if you're looking at your radio, phone, whatever listening device that you're using, you're like, Sarah, excuse me? Yes. My next mission in life, my God's given mission, if you will, is to convert the United States to be a bidet using country. We are progressive. We've got a lot going for us here. However, the other countries, they have progressed in the bathroom area. You ever gone to the bathroom in Japan? You will understand what I'm saying. When you have a toilet that not only has a bidet, it has a warm setting, warm water, and a beautiful fountain experience. It has a button for you to press for it to play music, or to play a flush sound in case you don't want other people hearing you have your own experience. It's magical. Literally magical. So first steps in that is not converting, but adding a bidet to every single toilet in this household. Right now it is only in the master bathroom. And yes, I use it every single time I go to the bathroom. Bidets are unreal. Bidets are fantastic. I love them. This one it doesn't have the warm setting. It is just the cool, very refreshing though. It's from Amazon. It was like, I think when I looked it up, like this was on our registry. This wasn't a random gift. This was my most prioritized item on the registry. That's how important it was to me. And you know who got it for me? My maid of honor. Now that's a friend. That's what I call a homie. That is a true friend. I literally love this thing. And now she can know that I think of her every time I have water squirting up my ass. I will say, first time that Joseph installed it, water pressure was a little high. We had to adjust it. But it's super easy install. Anyway, that was the best gift. Or I want to say the best. I had amazing gifts. That was the most standout gift. And I do talk about it often. And we are now a bidet household, and you should be too. If I'm going to influence you to do anything, it should be to get a bidet. If you have any questions or you need further convincing, once again, head to Instagram, DM me. I will be happy to send you a voice message and tell you exactly all the reasons why you need a bidet. All right. Who cried the most? I have no idea who cried the most. Here's one thing that I hope is captured on the video, and that I keep asking like guests when I like talk to them. When you're up there, like you really can't see anything because you're looking at your like future husband, future wife, whatever. And so like I don't know what that felt like or looked like to the audience, and the people, the pastors or like, like ceremony leaders who have you look out to the guests, although it's kind of awkward, I kind of wish I had a moment to do that, because I wanted to look at every single person's face and see who was crying. I know that mom cried literally the whole time. She told me Joseph's mom probably cried the whole time, and like family cried. I have no idea who cried. Um, Neither of us cried during the ceremony, but I'm looking at him right now. During my vows that I wrote, it was a beautiful whatever, single tear streaming down his face. Just one gorgeous, glorious tear. I hope that's on camera. No, he's definitely not like a cry in those type of situations. And I was jacked up on adrenaline. I nearly cried during his vows, both of our vows. Like I really loved them. And I think both of us did a really great job just kind of capturing how much we love each other. How did you feel, or what was your thought process an hour before you walked down the aisle? Literally, no thoughts, just vibes. The entire day, no thoughts, just vibes. I was having so much fun lounging, like, vendors come in, they're like, how you feeling? I'm like, I'm great. How are you? What is going on in your life? Like, it's just, I was so chill the whole day. And like, it did not like, adrenaline didn't start really pumping until, they were all like starting to walk, and so they lined everybody up downstairs. I was upstairs. We got ready on the second floor. So they were like, you stay here. We'll get the whole bridal party down, get them lined up. And Joseph and like the main people, or like, not main people, but first people, families, Joseph, like they start walking, and then I'll come get you. Well, here's the thing. Nobody came and got me. And so I was waiting in this room, and there's two balconies. Well, there's like a porch and then a balcony. And I couldn't go out on the balcony because like people would have seen me. But I was a little bit sly about it because I had been waiting there for like a moment, and like half my bridal party was already down the aisle and I'm still inside, and nobody came and got me. So I like sneak out onto the balcony, like peek over. I'm like watching things happen, which I find hysterical. And right in front of the house was where our reception was going to be. So my florist, who I did not know was my florist at the time, I had never actually seen her. We just talked on the phone and emailed and stuff, who was amazing. That was Bluebird Events. Her name is Lindsay. They're amazing. I loved their work. And like looked down, and she saw me. She was like, and she like mouthed like, you should probably come down now. So I was like, okay. So I scurried my hiney downstairs in my wedding dress, and me and dad were waiting like on like inside the house, right inside the door. The door was open because we didn't want to walk out too. People really wouldn't see us. We had bush coverage, but we didn't want to walk out too early and like be seen too early. And so I'm like, vibing. I'm like, hey dad, how are you? And Lindsay looks at me. She was like, again, getting ready. She looks and she goes, she mouths to me. She goes, where's your flowers? Mouths to me, where's your flowers? And I was like, oh crap. I had to run upstairs and grab my bouquet and come back down. I almost didn't walk with these flowers, which are gorgeous flowers. Loved these beautiful, gorgeous flowers. Almost didn't walk. You know what? I have no idea where my bouquet is. I have no idea where any of the bouquets are. And I kind of wanted them. At least wanted one or something. Damn. I gotta text people about that. Anyway. Yep. So bouquet. Almost didn't walk with bouquet. However, it was still fabulous. I don't even know. Oh, what was the question? Oh, thought process. No, that's just vibes the entire day. It was awesome. It was amazing. The best wedding advice I got, still say the best wedding advice I got was when you get to like when it's on the wedding day, like literally everything melts away. Everything is no longer in your control. What is going to happen will happen, and trust your team. And if you have good vendors and good people around you, like they'll take care of it. And they did. What was something totally unexpected at your wedding? Totally unexpected. Honestly, I don't know if anything was totally unexpected. I guess just like, okay, it was unexpected how relaxed I was during the day. And I know that, I mean, still that day went by fast, obviously. It always goes by fast, but I really was able to get into a mindset that allowed me to slow that day down. And I'm so thankful for that. I was really worried that I would get to the end of the night and be like, oh my gosh, like literally have no idea what just happened. But I felt very present. And I think that's something that not a lot of people can say, or that I've heard, like not a lot of people can say, like it's such like a whirlwind. That's something that was unexpected, as I was able to just kind of be. And that's the most important part of that day, is allowing yourself to just be, just literally live it as it is and enjoy it. And I certainly, literally, that was the best day of my life. 100% best day of my life. And I cannot wait to send or post the pictures and the video. Literally, I'm on the edge of my seat. Last one, I'm going to give a shout out to all the vendors if you are wondering. So, and I hope I get everybody. And if I don't, I'll make sure that they are in the description box. My makeup artist team was Alter Image. Makeup and hair artists, it's Alter Image. I don't remember, like hair and makeup artists, something like that. Jasmine and her team, they work in Charlotte, they work in Charleston, and they do some traveling. They're amazing. Jasmine, I had Jasmine and I loved her. And then she had a assistant with her who did my who was also working with my bridesmaids as well. They're a fantastic team. They are affordable. They can work on many different skin tones, which was actually quite hard to find a diverse hair and makeup artist team. So I'm glad we found them. Anyway, next, Forge Events for my rentals and my food. They're amazing. Florist was Bluebird Events. Lindsay, I actually don't remember her last name. I just know her by Lindsay. Lindsay is my life. Amazing florals. For the bar and everything, we had actually we had some people from Forage Events. We provided the alcohol. That was actually a really good idea on us to just buy a bunch of alcohol ourselves and stock the bar. And then we hired Mel. Her name is Melody. She is from a local restaurant that me and my family go to. She knows my family and she's a great bartender. So we were like, Melody, would you work my wedding? So her and then some of the Forge Events teams was the bar. For my coordinator, it is Cupcakes and Carrots. Her name is Danielle. She is amazing. It's Carrots, like Carats. I believe that she is on Facebook. She also does wedding cakes. She does many cakes. We've had cakes done by her before, and so she did my wedding cake, which was so pretty, gorgeous. Loved that. So she did the cake, and she was also the wedding coordinator. I get a wedding coordinator for the day of. You don't necessarily need a planner. Get a wedding coordinator. I mean, it didn't matter if it's an organized friend, you need somebody else to be the point person for communication that day. Lola Studios for photography. Haley, she's fantastic. I loved her style of photography. Kettle House Media. Tyler and Sydney, they launched, like, they've been doing wedding videography for a while, but they just launched like the kind of business name in their Instagram, Kettle House Media. I've used Tyler for years for my photography, for my business and personal photography. And when I got engaged, I texted him. I said, Tyler, you're doing videography or photography? You get to choose which one. He said, I'll do videography. I said, amazing. Who did your wedding? Because that's who's going to be my photographer. So my photography search, that was it. And it was Lola Studios and it was Haley, both amazing people to work with. And Tyler and Sydney are so freaking talented. If you have a wedding, go check out Kettle House Media on Instagram. If you have any event, honestly, I really love, like, I really want to do like a, just kind of, how people do photo shoots for like fall or whatever. I really want to do like video shoots for that kind of thing. Just so talented, and I love their vision and everything that they do. So definitely go check them out. Okay, I think that's it. If you're wondering about any other details, a lot of it I recorded on my TikTok, so go there. If you have any other questions, you know where to find me. It was so nice to kind of relive the day with you guys. Again, I'm gonna be posting photos, videos as soon as that shit hits. I will be spamming everyone. So get ready for the content. And yeah, I love you guys. I will have to do a whole nother episode on Thailand and the honeymoon. And maybe I'll do like a Thailand like travel recap, or like recommendations or something like that, because the honeymoon was incredible. I thought I could do it in this episode and literally couldn't. No chance. We'll do that another day. Anyway, I love you all. Have a fantastic week wherever you are, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.